I believe that cricket is a beautiful game. However, due to the slowness of its nature, its beauty gets lost. And I think it's time that we straighten out the facts and show you its beauty. For this, we're going to need to go to our laboratory and visit a world class visual representation. Welcome to our laboratory, i.e., our kitchen. This is our world class representation showing you a cricket field. The green is all the grass that you will see in a cricket match. The patch of brown right in the middle, which is so well put together, is the pitch where the game takes place. In order to not get my words misconstrued, we will call the pitch the track. The track is where the players play the game, and these players are represented by all of these stars. And then the round and the tree in the middle represents our bowler, because that's how a cricket ball almost looks like. The cross represents our wicket-keeper, the person who wears the gloves and stands behind the batter. The two little smart players in the middle are our batters, and there are white dots going across the oval, which are 30 yards away from our track, and we will cover the importance of these dots in later videos. This is the parameter of our game, and the parameter is put together and enclosed by the boundary. The boundary is very important, so keep that open. The game of cricket is then played against two teams of 11, and because I wanted to be smart, I wrote them in Roman numerals. Don't mind the scratch. Someone does not have an eraser. Good for them. Not a great idea if you're holding a world-class art studio. But when we come back to our teams, it's played against two teams of 11, and one team hits the ball, the other team throws the ball. And how is this determined? In the beginning of the match, the captains do a toss. Heads or tails, whoever wins chooses to bat or to bowl. So let's say that Team A decides to bat after winning the toss. How does the game play out as you are sitting watching a mundane of nothingness if you don't know what is going on? The game is played by two players who will be occupying our track, and their objective is to score as many points as possible for their team. However, remember, it's played by 11 players, so here's how it would go down. Our bowler with our stylish ball runs in and throws the ball to our batter. In cricket jargon, when they throw the ball, we say that they are bowling. So our bowler comes and bowls the ball to our batter, who does not have a bat but will find a way to hit the ball anyway. When he hits the ball and it goes onto the patch of green, he and his partner, or rather they and their partner, will run across, making sure that they cross the first white line, and whenever time they cross, that is going to be 1 run. It's going to be 2 runs when they do it. It's going to be 3 runs. They can do it for as long as they want, so long as the ball has not been collected. Because if one of the players collects the ball and they throw it to either end, if the batter has not made their ground and they are still running towards their home and their stumps get hit, bye-bye, you are out, batter. And that is one of 10 ways of losing your wicket. I just remember 8. My memory seems to be fading as the years go by. Please feel free to remind me of the other 2. However, that is what you call a run out, because they were running and he couldn't make it home, and therefore they were ran out. First batter is gone with a run out, and then the new batter comes in. Bye-bye, you are next. He comes in, batter number 3. And now batter number 3 has too much power. He doesn't like this idea of running up and down the field. So he has so much power that he uses it and smashes the ball through, and the ball passes the boundary. When the ball passes the boundary as it bounces and travels through the ground, the game says there's no need for you to run. The bats did the running for you. Therefore, you get a boundary. And if it touches the ground, you get 4 runs. Remember, when they run across, up and down, that's another way you can score runs. We will tackle this in a later video. So now you hit the ball on the ground, it goes for 4. And he says, man, me, I can hit it over. He decides to use that power and extravagantly, explosively hits the ball over the top and out of sight. The mere fact that the ball went over the top and crossed the boundary aerially means that the game gives you an extra reward of 6 runs. It's very hard to run up and down 6 times before the ball is collected and thrown back in risk of you getting run out. Therefore, getting 6 runs is quite a big deal. That's where you'll get commentators going.
And Herman says, top of the morning to you, it's a 6er.
Yeah. So now our player decides to go one big extra. He says, I'm going to hit it this way. But then the ball doesn't reach the boundary, but rather reaches our fielder right here. His stardom catches the ball before it goes over the boundary. Because the ball didn't touch the ground, he was going for the maximum, but there is risk attached to the beautiful reward of not having to run 6 times up and down. The risk is that if the ball is caught before it touches the ground, it is one of the methods of losing your wicket, and you are caught out. Bye-bye, Mr. Big Hitting Man, and in comes the next batter. This process will continue right up until batter number 11. But because you're allowed only 2 players at each time, the moment there is only 1 player left, he doesn't have a partner. That is the end of their stay of batting, and they therefore have 10 wickets. So the moment they lose all of their 10 wickets, bye-bye, it is over for you. Your time to bat is over. So let's say in their time of batting, they score 200 runs. Good for them. Now batter team number 2 must come in and say, we will score those 200 runs using the very same parameters that team A had. If they are able to score those 200 runs that are needed, they win the game. If they fall short and score 199 or less, they win the game as Team 2 loses and cannot find the score that they need to win. If the score becomes tied and they decide 200 is a nice number, I wanted 2, then the match is either a tie or we get something that's called a super over. We'll tackle this when we speak of our extras. Let's say they are trying to get 200 and then they lose all of their wickets. Even on 199 for 9, they lose their last man or last lady. They have lost the match by 1 run.
Yeah, that put an end to proceedings here this evening.
Therefore, this team was able to defend their score by taking all of the other team's 10 wickets. This is just the bare basic of how it happens. My visual representation shows you the one side of batting. Now, in our next video, we're going to talk about this allocated time that they have to bat, and this is made up of overs. Join me as we take a journey in understanding what cricket is, and we are going to break down the job of this little gentleman and the rest of his star teammates and how they can stop these 2 and the rest of the team from even getting close to that 200. This is the story of cricket. Welcome to what I would call Cricketology.